Well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Well, we asked you to rise and shine, and here you are. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. My name is Barry Morrow, and some of you may remember me from a couple of years ago when I stood up here telling you a bit about my story as a kid growing up in Austin, Minnesota, then St. Paul, Golden Valley, and ultimately as a Hollywood screenwriter. And how all of that kind of relates to a high school in a faraway place in Ghana. In other words, I kind of told you my story arc in what we call screenwriting terms. So in keeping with this movie theme this morning, I'd like to borrow a line from Tom Hanks in his portrayal of Forrest Gump. My mama says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And today you got me again. I guess I'm that nougat or that hard marshmallow chocolate at the bottom of the box, you know, with the nibbles already all around it. I had 4 sisters. They always got to the chocolate first. But what we're really here to show you today is what these students in Ghana got in their boxes of chocolates because of this school and because of you. Before we do that, though, it's time for us to have some victuals, and by that, for you young'uns, I mean breakfast. And I promise to stop with the Forrest Gump very soon here. We are blessed this morning to have Father Bob Schwartz with us, the man, I would say the momentum behind the yellow brick road that we find ourselves on. Father Bob, I have a microphone here, and I would like you to lead us in prayer, if you would. It's table 23, hard to see here. Here we go. Thank you, Father Bob.
It's good to remember who I am because I forget sometimes. God is so good. I had no idea what this was going to do. And if you want to invest in something that's going to do good for a long time, investing in the education of young people in Africa is going to change the world. So thank you. God has been good. Let's pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Loving God, we thank you for the miracle of your love, giving us your creation, giving us Jesus, your Son, giving us one another. Help us to serve our human family, especially in Africa. Bless us, bless our family and friends. Bless all your people, this food, this project, Our Lady of Grace High School, Our Lady of Grace Parish. Wow. Bless us all in your holy name. We ask this blessing through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Father. Enjoy your victuals. We'll be back soon. Good morning, everyone. Wonderful to be here. I'm Father Kevin Finnegan, and on behalf of Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church and School, I welcome you to the 4th annual Rise and Shine Breakfast. I know for some of you, this is like noontime, and for others of you, perhaps you wouldn't have normally gotten up. So thank you all for being here. It's wonderful, and I am so I mean, look at everyone here to support a mission just a few miles away, but one that makes an incredible difference. And so, again, very grateful. We're helping to support the education of 1,000 students a year at Our Lady of Grace Catholic High School in Minnetonka, which I did learn eventually how to say, but I need a little more help on that later. Especially want to honor and thank Mary Lynn and Warren Staley. And where are they? There they are. Thank you for your vision and your commitment, which has inspired me and thousands of people around the world. So thank you very much. Very grateful. There are many people, others to thank, but I'm especially thankful for you for helping Our Lady of Grace, a Catholic high school in Minnetonka, be a place where kids thrive and know and love one another and the world about them. So again, thank you for being here. And now back to Barry. Thank you. People who know me also know that I love to give voice to my characters, and there's one voice I wish I had, but I don't. I just have her words. Words of the world-renowned American anthropologist Margaret Mead, who one day threw this thought out into the universe. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Now, many of you are familiar with our next two speakers from any number of ways: Cargill, Habitat, Opportunity International, Benilde, St. Margaret's, and I could go on. Mary Lynn and Warren Staley have lived Margaret Mead's words, and they would like to give you a kind of a peek inside at how that has played out in real life. That is, taking something like this and turning it into this. Yes, I think amazing transformation. Now, in their closest circles, Mary Lynn and Warren are rather well known for their, let's call it their yin-yang approach to life and working together, which at times can also look like a dog chasing its own tail. But you know what? It works. Mary Lynn and Warren, if you would. Need a hand, Pard?
Not yet.
Okay.
Good morning. First, just a little bit about West Africa and Ghana. So Ghana is a country in West Africa bordered by the Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Togo, and the Gulf of Guinea. One of the most important things to know about West Africa, why is it important? 70% of the world's cocoa that goes into chocolate comes from West Africa.
Yeah.
And as Barry said, who doesn't like a box of chocolates? It's the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence from British rule in 1957. Ghana means great warrior king, and the Ashanti tribe were warriors and the very last holdouts in the fight against the British. Kumasi is the capital of the Ashanti region. Minnetonka, where the school is located, is about 30 miles from Kumasi and a town of about 3.3 million. Minnetonka is something over 100,000. The 2019 census had Ghana at about 30.5 million people, and the 21 estimate is 31.5 million, an increase of 2.4% over the previous year. Whereas the
Warren,
U.S. What?
Warren. A small group of committed citizens and change. That's what we're talking about here. Let me show them how this happens in relation to developing a high school in Ghana. Well, it all started when Father Bob and another priest, who you will see on a video later, came to Warren and Mary Lynn and said, we have something that we want you to think about. It seems that Father Sylvester, who was from Ghana originally and being with our parish for 2 years, getting a master's in education, was about ready to go home and was very concerned because this village he was going back to had no high school. Kids on the street at age 13. They said, Warren and Mary Lynn have worked for an international company and they like education, so maybe we should talk to them. Yes. They came and talked to us. We felt the pain. We said, okay, let's go. Hey, here's something we didn't know. You know, you learn along the way. In Africa, if you say you'll go on a look-see, they considered it a fait accompli. Aha. So we were greeted with the most organized, the most professional 3 days of meetings you have ever attended. We said, okay, let's go. But wait, we know nothing about boarding schools. How in the heck are we going to do this? Enter Jim Ramsland, who had been on the board of a wonderful boarding school of international fame down in Faribault, Minnesota, by the name of Shattuck St. Mary's. He said, I'll introduce you to the headmaster, and he can give you some help with this. Great. And then, in addition, we had the head of the parish over there, who would be the head of the project, Father Paul, PhD, U.S. educated, doctor of canon law, and an unstoppable force, as you might see. And then we had Dr. Agnes Idu, who was UCLA PhD, United Nations, head of education committees, and the bridge between the two cultures. That was our group of committed citizens.
Mary Lynn, that's all good, but the fact is, it took the Ashanti tribe through the Queen Mother to give us the 19 acres to get us started, and then let us purchase the other 19 at a later time. A great team of architects, contractors, a quantity surveyor, seemingly millions of emails, architectural designs, questioning, refining, 9 years of trips back and forth, and with Our Lady of Grace mission back office personnel and services supporting the efforts, went into the work from 2012 to 2021. We even continued construction without missing a day through the COVID lockdowns because the construction crews stayed, lived in the dorms because the kids weren't on campus, and worked every day. So we didn't miss anything last year. Cement was imported from different markets around the world, rebar from China, concrete blocks mostly made on site, scaffolding of bamboo, very traditional in that part of the world, with workers climbing everywhere, no mechanization, almost all hand labor. Fencing for the property, which was interesting. Fencing in this case is an 8-foot-high solid block wall. And we did that a lot earlier, around the entire 38 acres. We did that earlier than anticipated because you saw in that photo, this was savanna scrub. There was nothing in that part outside the city. As soon as we announced, people started buying the lots and building houses, and including encroaching on our property. And we were told that you can go through the courts, but the only way to do it, build a wall. And so we did, right on the perimeter, and you'll see later on, as far as you can see, their houses. And a lot of people moved back in the region to retire from the region because now there's infrastructure there. Dirt roads within, and then pavers.
Warren. Citizens, small group, working together. Let me show you how that worked out when we were talking about electricity for this campus. I was musing over the high cost of everything, and including electricity. But I was doing that with Nick Stoneman, who was the president of mentioned Shattuck St. Mary's. And he said, you know, our students come from all over the world. I have a student from China whose father invented a chip to go into the electrical lines so that electricity could be measured in the line and not on the building. I'll give him a call and see what I can do. The outcome? This man sent over all the wire, huge spools of it, and the poles to electrify our whole campus, straight to the port. But wait, the port's 7 hours from our campus. How are we going to get this there? Again, Nick Stoneman said, I also have a student of Lebanese descent, but her father has a trucking company in Accra, which is the capital of Ghana. I'll give him a call. Sure enough, they volunteered 2 15-ton trucks and trucked it all the way up to the campus. But wait, there's more. 4 blocks from the campus, these 15 trucks were mired in the mud. Now what? Well, Father Paul said, I have a parishioner who has a quarry very near the school, and he sent huge bulldozers, moved the trucks up into the campus. The wiring of the campus was done just in time for our first inaugural celebration at OLAG. And that's another way that groups of citizens work together for this campus.
In the almost 9 years of this project, the campus has grown in front of our eyes and come to life in addition to that first phase. We now have 6 dorms, 3 men and 3 women, 140 each, 840 total capacity, 1 dining hall, capacity of 800 plus, a cafeteria for staff, visitors, students, and extras, an assembly hall, capacity well over 1,000, housing on campus for the headmaster, the assistant head, services personnel, plumbers, electricians, drivers, etc., 3 full-time nurses, and 4 of the 15 kitchen staff, because these people are up at 4 in the morning getting ready to feed 800 students every day, and then lunch and then dinner. 2 tennis courts, 2 basketball courts, 2 volleyball courts, a practice soccer pitch supporting a professionally sized pitch with stands that you'll see later in the video. 2 apartment buildings for teachers. 5 blocks away, we bought a piece of land from a church. They can walk to the school from there, with housing for up to 35 with 2-bedroom, 2-bath units. And in process, and to be finished by the end of this calendar year, an infirmary, a new science wing with an innovation center above it, and final plans for another classroom and teaching building, and for the teachers to have offices. That'll be done in 2022. Isn't that miraculous? So let's just take a moment and drink it in. Amazing. The real leap in the future was done this year, and it was bringing a fiber optics cable a couple of miles to the property and the installation of fiber optics on the campus absolutely everywhere, led by the man that runs IT at Ashesha University in Accra, which was judged to be the best university in Ghana and top 10 in Africa this past year. And it went to an elementary school nearby, which my tech son-in-law, Jason Shervany, who's in Denver and has a business, says is faster network than in his office in Denver.
Warren.
Yes,
One more
Mary Lynn.
group of committed citizens here. Yeah, we don't do these things alone. Meet Father Neil Baker, who took his first trip in 2017 with me, and we even got him in some garb on the right of the screen. You can see that. And just took his fourth trip last June. He was indispensable in being our IT expert, vetting all the product and the programs that we put into place. And he worked with marketing guru Alice and James to put our very first Rise and Shine breakfast together. How else are we going to get the word out for something that's happening so far away unless you have talent like this going toward it? And would you stand if you hear your name? Chris and Daryl Eastberg.
Where are Chris and Daryl?
Stand, there
are.
you go. 6 and 7 trips between them, that's a lot of impact, right? Kojo and Aaron Mugatfried. Kojo got us our expert engineer, which gave us the confidence that we didn't have to know what we were doing, but there was oversight there. It just so happened this was his uncle, who has a very prosperous business both in England and was visiting Kumasi from time to time, so that worked very well. The men's club. Is there a group of men from the men's club here?
Yep.
All right. We've sent 2 containers about 4 years or so ago of completely full of classroom desks, chairs, tables, and each desk full of books. The men's club loaded it all, and most recently we sent a container that also included 4 golf carts, 2 utility vehicles, 2 golf carts, because with 38 acres, that's a lot to take in. In addition, as Warren mentioned, we had the Ashesha University partnership, and David, their head of the IT department, who not only helped mentor our robotics programs and networking programs, but oversaw the fiber optics installation. And finally, we have Father Kevin, overseeing it all.
Looks suspiciously like Chicago Cubs colors. So 5 graduations later and about 800 students enrolled in the school this year, we could go on way too long. But allow us to let others tell you about the real treasure, the students, the teachers, and the incredible impact they have. Barry?
Thanks, Warren. I know you'll admit that that's just an amazing transformation, but what Warren was describing really is the setting, you know, not the end product. The end product is the kids. Now, before breakfast, I gave you a movie quote, and here's another from a movie I happened to write, Rain Man, with the actor Tom Cruise talking about Dustin Hoffman, his autistic brother. What you have to understand is, 4 days ago, he was only my brother in name. And this morning, we had pancakes. That was his epiphany. That was his transformation. Molly Rye and her husband Tom, a retired Minneapolis orthopedic surgeon, had that kind of forever relationship-changing experience when 3 months ago they traveled with 5 others to the school in Ghana. Now, many of you know Molly, not only because of the 5, count them, 5 fine young men that she and Tom raised, but also for her work in philanthropic causes relating to children's cancer, CCRF, music therapy singing group, League Airs, St. Thomas, Our Lady of Grace educational efforts, and really, really so much more. And, Molly would probably like us to throw in her Rocky Mountain Ski instructor certificate, but let's not digress. Today we've asked if she would share her retrospective of her Ghana trip. So, Molly?
Thank you so much, Barry. Quite an introduction. And good morning. It's great to have you all here with us today, edifying, moving. In the next 5 minutes, so you're getting time for the 7th inning stretch. In 5 minutes, I hope I can share with you my experience visiting Our Lady of Grace High School, Ghana. Our arrival seemed like a moon landing. Truly, flights from Minneapolis to Amsterdam, from Accra to Kumasi, and then a van to OLG, Ghana, where we saw a wonder of God on the hill. Kid you not. You saw it. You were moved, right? From scrub, as Warren said, to all those buildings, all those people. So, just for fun, where are you, Father Paul? I saw you. Okay, Father Paul, can you help us pronounce a word in Twi, the native language of Ghana? Mampontang? Mampontang. Can we all say it? Mampontang. Once more with heart. Mampontang. Wonderful. That's what we were talking about, Mampontang. So now, when you go, Chris and Peter and Sally and Tim and Rosemary, Jane, all of you who are planning trips to Ghana, you can speak some Twi. And like us, you'll be greeted by the familiar smile of the headmaster, Father Sylvester. He gave us a tour of the campus where we saw beautiful students, buildings, and playing fields. We were able to sit for an hour under the trees with 15 to 20 students. Timidly at first, we got to know one another. Pretty soon they were like the teenagers that we'd left at home. After hearing what they liked about their academically demanding school, I asked if they wanted any changes in their life of 3 meals a day, no snacks, classes, studies, sports, choral singing, band, prayer, and washing their own uniforms by hand. So I wasn't surprised the next day to see the playing fields littered with clothes drying in the sun. It's impressive. Oh, they talked about, that is, complained about, their haircuts. Their haircuts, that is, buzz cuts every 2 weeks for boys and girls. I said maybe they could ask for 3 weeks between haircuts. While I assured them they looked great and probably saved themselves lots of time. Then a senior student named Agnes admired my hair, asking if she could please touch it. My answer was, sure, but only if I can touch your hair first. She agreed and gently touched my hair, and I encouraged her to fluff it. Go ahead, fluff it, Agnes, fluff it. And then I said, well, does anybody else want to touch my hair? All of a sudden, I had this scrum of 15 teenagers around me fluffing my hair. They'd never seen, anyway, there you go. So, Lots of laughter. Then Isaiah wondered if I could ask Father Ben for more social time for boys and girls. And Jonah asked for cell phones and headsets for the computer lab. Typical teenagers, right? So a student named Emmanuel, lots of biblical names among these kids, great faith in this Ghanaian culture, very religious country. She asked if I'd seen the statue to Our Lady of Grace as you entered the school. She said, you know, we're dedicated. She's our patron. Our Lady of Grace is our patron. I said, oh, yes, I think I know that. Then she translated some verses written in Chui on the gates to the school. She said, those words mean, we are children of grace, and we are blessed. Because they are blessed, they know it, and we know how blessed we are in them. They are becoming the future moral, ethical, and responsible leaders of Ghana. OLAG students are the cream of the crop with lofty university and career goals. The next day, we were drawn by the beat of drums to the tennis courts, where we watched their finance professor rehearse them for the Saturday variety show. Boys played the bongos, while the girls' dance team practiced native dance steps. On the next court, the men's volleyball team played an all-out competitive game. Later, we watched about a dozen girls as they competed for the Miss OLAG title. It's a title given to the senior student who exemplifies the school ideals of character, leadership, academics, and faith. Father Ben and the teachers endeared themselves to us as we watched them interact with their bright students. Having been an intern teacher in a college prep boarding school in Switzerland, I understand the responsibilities of being an on-site parent to high school boys and girls living 10 months of the year away from their homes. Jim Ramsland, where are you? We're picking on you today. Jim Ramsland, I think you can relate because you had that experience as a boarder at Shattuck St. Mary's in Faribault. Students at OLAG are nurtured in a faith-based environment, and the results are edifying. There is happiness, as you see, on every face in this place. Switching gears for a moment, let's consider some of the things that we take for granted, like Starbucks. A quick calculation made me realize that about a year's worth of lattes could buy one tuition scholarship at OLAG. An American dollar goes a long way in Africa. Thanks, Father. Thank you to the rescue. Our future will be influenced by the success of the African countries. In 2050, one of every four persons on Earth will be African. We must help them thrive. As Africa thrives, so will our children and grandchildren. Dearest friends, thank you for making this virtual trip with us to OLAG, where my life was changed. Thank you for your generosity to Our Lady of Grace High School, Ghana, which will change the lives of future leaders for the world. Our hope is that you will come, not just the ones I mentioned, but so many of you. It's such a doable thing, and it's so transformative that you will come with us in person to visit OLAG. Thank you, Barry and Warren and Mary Lynn, for your leadership, and Father Kevin.
Can I interrupt one more time? Because in just a moment, you're going to see the work of someone else who is one of our committed citizens, Mr. Tim Bear, who has made 4 trips to Ghana, has made 2 videos, one you'll see shortly, and who has taken millions of pictures. How else would we get all of this information around? Thank you, Tim.
Yes, thanks, Tim. And you know, man, if we could just get a whole bunch of those students to come here, and you know, we tried, but as you know, with COVID today, and really a lack of vaccines in developing countries, it just wasn't possible for them to be here in person this year, but maybe in the future. It didn't stop us, though, from bringing the person who brought the dream to the Staleys with Father Bob, and who is now following his own dream as the headmaster of the school, Father Sylvester, along with his students, past and present, to reveal the impact your partnership is making. In other words, what a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens is doing to change their world and the vision going forward. Let's watch this video.
Our Lady of Grace Senior High School is a huge blessing to Mother Ghana and to countries across Africa. There are many who are coming from across the country and even outside of the country to attend school in this most beautiful environment. Because of the beautiful and conducive social and physical environment that we have here, learning and formation is going on and lives are being transformed. We know education is very dynamic. Education is changing in the course of time. It's becoming more about how to use what you have to solve problems in the world and become the reason for greatness and success in your communities.
Next year, I'd like to be in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, offering pharmacy. I chose pharmacy because I come from the northern part of Ghana, where life has not been very easy for the people. Sometimes, when people go to the hospital and they are asked to buy a particular drug, they don't get it to buy in the village. They have to travel a long distance to go and buy it, and sometimes people lose their life because of that. So I chose pharmacy so that I'll become a pharmacist and bring drugs to the doorsteps of my people in the village.
We want our students to become the creators, become the ones who are able to think outside the box, be the ones who are able to see what is coming in the future and even create opportunities for themselves.
I graduated in the year 2016, first batch. I am a student of University of Education, Winneba, Kumasi campus. I'm currently studying BA in English, that is Bachelor of Arts in English Education. My dream goal is to become an educator, and my desire is to impact on students out there and also come back to my root, that is Our Lady of Grace, to teach the students who are here as well.
I graduated from Our Lady of Grace at 2019. I'm a level 100 student at University of Cape Coast. After I finish school, I want to further up and be an ophthalmologist. I have the passion for the human eye and looking around, seeing people wearing glasses, so many blind people around, and it gives me the passion to do that. And moreover, what boosts me more is my father right now is a blind man, and it has gingered this passion in me to be an ophthalmologist, to see why and how he got blind.
Our Lady of Grace Senior High School engages in individualized education. We don't just put all the students together and treat them as one. We treat them as individuals. We look at their individual needs, and that's the reason why we have small class sizes. That's the reason why our dormitories have small numbers. So house parents and teachers can know each student so that they can know how to serve them well, how to help them to be able to overcome all the academic and social and psychological and other challenges. So this is a real home for students, and we believe that with your constant support to us, we can create great avenues for students to become the best versions of themselves.
When my father was alive, he was very sick. So I rushed him to the hospital one day. But it was unfortunate I lost him over there because of the huge amounts the doctor requested. It was too huge to the extent that we could not afford. So he did not attend to him. He was left to his fate. So he passed away in the process. When I came here, my biggest challenge was to adapt myself to the environment I find myself. Because I've not been in such an environment, but I've tried. I'm an athlete, I'm a footballer, I can play volleyball, handball, almost everything. Favorite thing is the existence of the various laboratories on campus. I make good use of it a lot, especially the IT lab. I've been able to develop a lot of skills from it, which I think if I had gone to any other different school, I wouldn't have been able to do. My name is Jennifer Inso. I'm a second-year science student. I would like to advance my education, go to the tertiary to pursue medicine. I would like to become a medical doctor, a cardiologist.
This lab that you have shown to us is actually touching almost everybody in the country. It is touching the poor of the poor. It is touching those who don't have the means. It is creating opportunities for them to rub shoulders with those who have the means. It means that education as the greatest leveler is actually working here in our country because of your generous donations and contributions.
Because of this Rise and Shine scholarship, I've been able to be part of this community. In fact, OLAG has really shaped my life, has modeled me. I'm always encouraged to learn more, to become who I want to be in future.
Through you, a lot of students who had beautiful dreams are now seeing their dreams come into fruition.
If not a scholarship, I don't know where I would have been now. I don't know.
I wouldn't have been here. Perhaps I may not be here.
I wouldn't have been this far had it not been from the help of Our Lady of Grace Senior High School.
If it wasn't for the scholarship, I wouldn't think I would have even completed senior high school.
Coming to this school has been the best decision I've ever made. Looking at myself, the transformation I've gone through since I was here till now, I think it has been amazing.
What I would like to say is giving thanks to Rise and Shine.
I'd like to say a very big thank you to our benefactors and benefactresses.
I would say a very thanks to our sponsors.
I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers, the sponsors of the scholarship.
If not Our Lady of Grace Senior High School, I wouldn't have become who I am today.
In every seemingly hopeless situation, there is always hope.
At your tables are envelopes, paper and pens and that, and you have a captain at your table who will distribute and collect these at the end. I made this trip to Ghana 2 years ago, and the reason I flew all the way from Santa Barbara just to do this job, which almost anybody could be an MC, but I wanted to do this because I was transformed the way that Tom Cruise was when he realized his brother was more than a brother. And I found a whole continent of brothers that embraced me and looked to me and to all of us as a hope that they could share in kind of the bounty that we have. But the only way to do that is through education, obviously. So look at these cards, and I'd like you to do something that maybe you're not prepared to do, but I'm going to ask anyway. And that is, you go a little bit bigger than you had anticipated. And I know people are asked all the time to help in different ways, but there is a way that you can stand up and stand up for these students. And it's through your donations. Since we are sort of majoring in quotes of others today, I'd like to end with one from Saint Mother Teresa. It's pretty simple. She was a simple woman, but a profound impact for sure. She said, "I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things." Now, these students have not only sung to us here, they've opened their hearts and their souls to us. The school and its personnel are doing the hard work of educating and really inspiring, and in this way, providing a brighter future for all these young people who work so hard, and I've seen it, and who come from so little. Now, 2 years ago, our Rise and Shine efforts were able to raise almost $300,000. And last year, despite COVID, your generosity raised $500,000. And that's even with the COVID disruption. So, I mean, it has been truly a godsend. And incidentally, this breakfast is privately sponsored so that 100% of your donations go directly to the scholarship fund. 100%. That's amazing. Tim, it was worth it. Thank you. And there's 300 human hearts beating in this room right now. And I hope you've been moved. I hope you go to Ghana like I have. And then you won't need to learn anything. It'll be just inside of you forever. God bless you all for being a part of this small group of thoughtful, committed citizens, making these really seismic changes in young people's lives. And finally, this isn't Forrest Gump talking. This is me, because my daddy said, when you give, you get. It's as simple as that, Bear. And he said, when you get older, you'll know the truth of my words. My dad's birthday was yesterday. Would have been 104, and Dad, you were right. Thank you.
churundero yolela. Jurna be jurmini ma yolele. Turare bes moy kale yolele ma. En megen der kremen der fuda. Wop no yo no parode.